Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. Today, we have yet another very special guest on the show. This guy is a huge part in the King of the Dot Northwest scene. He's someone that I've been aware of for the last few years and seems to get better with every battle. The Gingerbread Man. How's it going, man?
Hey, thanks for having me, dude. Big fan of the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm looking forward to this one. But jumping straight into the questions, man. I mean, for yourself, how was it that you got into battle rap originally?
So I have a pretty extensive history, like writing history. So I was in journalism when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I was kind of writing sports articles for like a betting website. I just kind of write a brief synopsis on who I would win, like NFL, NBA kind of articles. And I quite enjoyed it. But after a while, it kind of got monotonous and a bit boring. So I kind of turned and discovered more creative writing, and I got into songwriting. So eventually I was at a crossroads. Either I pursue my journalism or pursue music and songwriting. And I picked the songwriting. And yeah, I went to school for engineering and production and stuff. And then just as a hobby, I kind of bought a microphone and was just kind of making my own beats and stuff. I'd have my friends over and we do some freestyles and make songs after the bar, like kind of fun shit like that. Anyways, one day my buddy was over and he showed me a rap battle. It was Dirtbag Dan versus Mad Child, and Mad Child was he's very popular local MC at the time. He was in Swollen Members, and I saw the battle, and the battle was okay, but I was just blown away by the whole concept, like a spoken word and all these crazy metaphors and punchlines, and I was hooked after that. I kind of just did my own research. I saw the old A hat kind of clickbaity title battles and watched some of those, and then I got into URL, and that's when I was completely sold on it. I was a huge fan. I think Big T versus DNA, that was like the one battle I was like, holy shit, like this is awesome. Like talking about sports and video games and stuff. I was hooked instantly.
Nice. Yeah,
Then
man.
yeah, and then eventually I wasn't really into King of the Dot that much. I was like huge into URL, but then I found out that we had a scene in Vancouver, and I was like, holy fuck! Like how did I how did I not know about this after all this time? So I went to a couple events. I think the first event I went to was the Gastown event. There was Ellipsis versus Madflex, Pigsty versus Peanut was on that. Daylight was supposed to battle a guy, but things happened at the border, and I believe Shoddy Horror was supposed to battle that night as well, but he came down with some kind of illness. But I just kind of went to the events, and I wanted to battle, and I asked some of the guys there. I'm like, how do I get involved in this? They're like, oh, just keep coming, like get yourself into the community. And I messaged some of the people to get battles, and I never really got replies or anything. So I didn't get too frustrated. I just did it as a hobby and wrote and watched as many battles as I could. And finally, one of the smaller leagues in the area, Smoked Out Battles, I kind of found their channel by accident and noticed that they were in a local suburb, kind of close to where I was living. I sent the guy Darren Hayes. He was the owner at the time. I sent him my SoundCloud. Just had a couple songs there. Got set up for a battle against The Truth. That was my first battle, and the rest is history. It's been five and a half years almost. So time
Yeah,
flies. Yeah.
definitely, man. That's really cool. And I mean, the Vancouver scene as a whole is it's thriving. Like it's a really exciting scene to be a part of, and like I'm desperate to get over there for an event personally. But I mean, I was a little bit late to the party with yourself, I'm afraid. Like the first battle that I actually saw of yours was, I'm pretty sure it was a GZ, but it was against Jaws.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Uh,
I had to kind of go back through the older battles and watch them quite a few years after they'd kind of gone
I think
down, I guess. But
yeah, I think that one was about 3 years ago. I think. Yeah, that's one of my favorite battles. I think. Just the lead up to that battle was pretty funny. Like he was kind of a up and comer kind of guy. I was kind of giving a shot to him, and he was pretty confident. Say that, and yeah, I bodied him pretty badly. So
you
fun
did,
battle.
you did. To be fair, yeah, and
Yeah, yeah,
it was a really fun battle on your part. Anyway, I really enjoyed it, and kind of been a big fan since then. And you've battled some amazing people since that point as well. I mean, you've come up against Pigsty. Obviously the most recent battle with Isaac Knox is amazing. Um,
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
and
yeah, that
then
was a fun battle too.
yeah, the whole event seemed really fun. To be fair, like obviously seeing Frankie Fraser come over there
Yeah,
was
that
really exciting too. But
yeah, meeting him was good shit. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with Vancouver. They just kind of make the events like as fun as possible, and positive atmospheres and stuff. And like La Sparka is such a fun host. Like even the after parties, it's just all about hospitality, and I think the battlers really respect that, and they want to keep battling in Vancouver. So
definitely, yeah, and it's probably the main reason why I follow the Vancouver events so closely. It's the same reason that I follow iBattle and No Coast so much as well. Like the events just seem like they come across as a party with battles happening as opposed to just a regular battle event, if that makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's like a perfect way to sum it up. Yeah, it's another eye battle. That was a great experience too. I did that.
Yeah,
Was it about a year and a half ago now? Yeah,
was it Drops that you battled on iBattle? Is that right?
correct. Correct. Yeah, drops. I'd say that was probably like top three favorite battles as well. Just the journey to get there. Like I took like the subway all the way to Staten Island. It was like a 2 hour excursion or something. So that was fun. Like
Yeah,
just seeing some of these big names, like that Crucible 3 event. That was the event I battled on. Like there's Chilla Jones versus Dunch, Homeschool versus Dago. Like those are some of the
yeah.
best battles I've seen live, and just to be a part of that whole event was awesome.
I can imagine, man. Yeah, it was a great event, to be fair. And like, one of the questions I have been asking is, what is your personal favourite battle that you've been a part of? So you said you've mentioned two of the three now. What would be like the other favourite for you?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, there's so many different reasons I like different battles. I'm sure you've heard that from different people, but oh, man, that Isaac Knox battle, like I put in a lot of effort into that one. That was really fun. I just did one in Toronto actually. It should be out like maybe in about a week or so against 3SK. He's from the New England area. That was a really fun one because he's a big Boston Bruins fan, and I'm from Vancouver, and there's like a huge like narrative behind that because we had huge riots in our cities because we lost the and it was against Boston.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So that was kind of fun with that. And then I versed another guy in Medicine Hat, Alberta, in Smoked Out Battles called Toucan Sam, and he's pretty eccentric kind of guy, super out there. And then it turns out that he was on acid the entire time that I battled him. So that was kind of a funny funny battle there. He was singing Duran Duran. I was like singing Frank Sinatra and shit. Like it's just a weird, funny battle. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
I'll
say
look out for that.
those are up there. Yeah.
It's a good list, man. And
Um,
like
I'd
for
say my. Sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say my first battle I ever did was probably up there as well, just because it was my birthday when that happened, and I kind of made it my birthday party, the rap battle. So I brought all my friends down there, and everyone was there to see it. So it's up there as well, my very first battle.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds good, man. And I mean, the smoked out atmosphere seems very similar to King of the Dot as well. It also seems like a bit of a party atmosphere, so I can imagine that was good fun.
Yeah, same kind of community, I guess. So yeah, that makes sense.
Nice. And do you have a least favorite battle of yours personally?
Least favorite. I it's hard for me to watch the pigsty battle, honestly, just because like that choke really early, and I used a lot of kind of shock value material that didn't get very very positive receptions, kind of like racist shit in there. So that one, I'm not too proud of that one. There's one I did before that battle. I kind of took another kind of shock value angle against Jim West, and I was kind of going through a shitty period of my life, and I was trying to use battle rap as an outlet instead of trying to deal with my problems, and kind of just show it in my performances. So I'd say, yeah, I wasn't too happy with the pigsty battle, and the Jim West battle was the other one.
Okay. No, I can appreciate that. That's fair enough. But like you've got to travel quite a bit with battle rap now then as well. You've been to quite a few different events in a few different cities and stuff. But what stands out for you as like the best battle that you've seen live personally?
That I've seen live personally. Yeah, like I said before, Dunch versus Chilla Jones was pretty awesome to see
Yeah.
live. Copacetic versus Ellipsis when he dresses up as the old man. That was so fucking hilarious to see live. Disaster versus Little G. That was interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess
Yeah.
being in Vancouver, I guess being in Vancouver, I haven't been to many like very like super high profile battle events, but I'd say those three are definitely up there for sure.
No, that sounds
Oh, and Pig Stivers A class was another good one. That was my first one of my first rap battle events. So yeah, that was up there as well.
it's a very good list to be fair, man. And like I mean, the I did actually have Copacetic on the show as one of the first guests, and unfortunately, I messed up the sound quality, so there's lots of echoing with his audio, so we're gonna have to re-record the episode. But
Oh man, that guy's got bad luck with technology. I was supposed to do like a live some Facebook live thing, but shit hit the fan with that. So yeah, hopefully he gets another interview because he's got a lot of.
he's got a massive knowledge, hasn't he? You know, he follows the scene all over the world and stuff. So it was an interesting chat. It's a real
Oh, it's
shame that
crazy.
the footage wasn't good enough, unfortunately. But he mentioned to me relatively close to the start of the interview that one of his favourite battles ever is Daylight versus Pat Stay. Um,
Okay.
Obviously, because Daylight turned up, well, Daylight did a Daylight in that battle essentially, but he was like, "You may be surprised to hear that that's my favourite battle," and I was like, after seeing you enter a battle dressed as a an old age pensioner, it really doesn't surprise me if I'm honest.
No, not at all. Yeah, he went through a phase where like he'd lose like every battle, and that was like his shtick. So he was like 0-11 or something in his battles, and yeah, he just and then he finally won against Mickey Worthless, and yeah, that broke the streak. And then I think he changed his approach after that.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely the only person that in battle rap that's disappointed to win a battle, I suppose. But
Yeah, he was not happy about that win against Mickey. That's for sure.
but like with with events that you've been to now, then so have you've been to the States, but only twice, is that right? So you've done I battle and you've done bots.
I've done iBattle bots. No, I've been to the States 3 times actually. Yeah,
Okay.
iBattle bots, and I was actually on AHAT in the Oregon division. Very short lived. They only did one event, but yeah, I have battled in Oregon as well.
Okay. Nice. And like you've obviously been to a few places in Canada too, but where's your personal favorite place you've battled so far then?
Um, I mean, excluding Vancouver, I would say iBattle for sure in the New York Staten Island area. Like it's just everyone there is a battle rapper, so they know what to look for. You can write the most intricate wordplay or most complex punchlines, and they'll get it, they'll understand. But sometimes when you say that in Vancouver or some other place that's not really a rap battle crowd, you'll get crickets and it'll go overhead. So it's kind of nice that you can just write differently. And I battle sometimes I have to put more jokes or something when I'm in a hometown battle just so people can get it. But yeah, yeah, I definitely say I battle is the best.
Nice. Yeah, makes sense. But how long does it take you to get to New York from Vancouver then?
It was about I think it was about 6 hours. Yeah, because it's about 5 hours to get to Toronto. So yeah, I think it was about 6 hours, give or
Okay.
take.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure it takes us about 6.5 hours to get from the UK to New York. So it shows how massive North America is, I guess. But
Yeah, right in the middle, I guess, of us.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But like one of the questions that I've been asking people is if you were to if you were to list five opponents that you'd really like to battle, and they can either be kind of bucket list final boss battles or battles that you'd like in the near future, who would make that list for you personally?
It's a tough one. I'd say for like bucket list final boss, I'd say B Magic or like Conceited, because those are the kind of the guys that really got me into battle rap, and I kind of modeled a lot of my writing early in my career after those guys. So yeah, probably B Magic, Conceited. For someone
Nice.
like modern, I really like Eric Foreman. I like his writing a lot. Or like E Farrell's cool. Cool. Just the guys off the top of my head. I like the bars. I like really good writers. So anyone who's got a good pen, um, yeah, anyone who could try to match my writing, I'd love to battle.
Nice, man. And is there any UK guys that are kind of on your radar that you're a big fan of?
No, I've been kind of out of the loop of the UK scene recently because they had a bunch of I don't know, it seemed like their channel shut down or something. There was a bunch of dramatics behind the scenes. I don't really know all the details. Much of Don't Flop, but when I did watch a bit of it, I really like that guy Wizard. I don't know if he battles anymore, but I always thought that guy was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, Wizard's
Like
great. He's
kind of the URL style, but kind of the posh accent. I always thought that was funny.
yeah, yeah, he's not battled in a long time, but I don't remember it ever being a thing where he openly said he was done with it. So he may return at some point in the future. But
Okay. Do you have any guys you can think of that might be good match?
so I think Kinnell, you and
Oh
Kinnell
yeah.
would be very good.
Okay. Yep.
I think you and I mean, there's a guy over here at the moment he's been around for a while, but he's just getting his dues in that sense. So he's kind of becoming a bit of a fan favorite. It's a guy called Lazy Ass Jack, and
Lazy ass Jack. Okay.
he's everybody is kind of suggesting that his first big international as such is going to be or should be against Ellipsis.
Oh
So
wow, okay.
he's he's a very good writer, and he's also quite funny as well. I think you guys would have a good battle.
Okay, cool. I'll check him out. Yeah, another guy it kind of popped in my head, Mackenzie. I saw one of his iBattle matches.
Yes, yeah,
I was pretty
Mackenzie's
impressed
very
with him
good
too.
too,
Yeah.
and I think
Uh,
Mackenzie's kind of all over the map in terms of battles as well. He's quite regularly in the States and stuff. I think he's done about 5 or 6 battles over there now. So
okay,
Mackenzie
nice.
could actually work out and come to fruition at some point too. But there's also a guy called Acre that you may be aware of. Copacetic battled him last year.
Yeah, I saw that one live actually. Yeah, him and yeah, smoked out. I think it was the 4 year anniversary or something. Yeah, he was really good too. I like him.
Yeah,
Scottish, right?
yes, he is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That I think you two would match up quite well too. But yeah, I mean, I can appreciate you. You not being too up on the UK scene either, because it's been for the last few years it's been quite a difficult thing to follow over here in the UK. Unfortunately, things are getting a bit more normal again now, but the
Yeah,
um,
that's good.
the main league is probably Premier Battles nowadays, which
Okay.
is Shotty Horror and Bison Briggs's league.
Ah, okay.
So they kind of did the first 2 years they've done were it was all based on like soccer culture. So they had like 6 different teams with 5 battlers in each teams, and the events were called like the match day events. So one team would have 4 battlers facing 4 battlers from another team and things like that.
Oh, that's a cool concept. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
lot of fun. They've unfortunately scrapped the concept now because it kind of limited matchup opportunities, but they're uh, they're doing big things like Shotty Horror returned to battling recently too.
oh, cool.
He
Uh,
battled John in December, I think it was. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the UK again now, which is good to see.
what was the battle? Real Sick versus Maverick. What was that on again? What channel
Yeah,
was
that's
that?
that's Premier Battles. So
Oh, okay.
they were one of the, I want to say, 6 battles that happened when Shotty returned against John.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed that battle actually. It was pretty fire.
Yeah, great battle. That's probably the best overall like back and forth battle of that event. Um,
Hmm.
John was good against Shotty, but it was just kind of all about Shotty because he'd not battled in such a long time, really. But yeah, yeah, very good
Oh yeah, the
event.
atmosphere must have been pretty crazy when he returned. I can imagine.
Oh, it was so the event was in London where unfortunately the crowd wasn't great on the day. London
Oh
crowds
yeah, I
can
could.
be very hit and miss. I think if Shotty had returned in Manchester, which is his hometown, it would have been a lot better. But
Ah, I see.
still an incredible battle, and the crowd were kind of they woke up for Shotty, but they weren't particularly receptive to everybody else.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, still they're doing big things. They've got a lot of cool things in the works as well. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on them. I know there's a lot of battlers coming over for Premier Battles from North America this year too. So it's going to be fun. But I mean, like with yourself, then. So you said you've been making music for a while too. Is that still something that you're doing?
I haven't made a track like since I started my rap battle career, but something I've thought about, maybe just as a little side hobby, but for the time being, I think I'm just going to stick to battle rap. After my last battle, I got offered some nice opportunities here and there. Unfortunately, with the COVID shit, that kind of spoiled that. But
Sure.
yeah, there's going to be some big things in my horizon for battle rap. So I think I'm just going to focus on that for the time being.
Makes sense. It's good to hear as well, man. I'm glad that some big opportunities are coming your way. But like one of the most difficult battle rap related questions that I've been asking really is if you were promoting your own event and you were putting a card together that you had unlimited funds to do, who would you put on that card and what battles do you personally really want to see?
Oh shit! It could be anyone if not active.
Absolutely anyone, yeah.
Hmm. I think a funny one would be Ellipsis versus A Ward. I think that would be nice.
Nice.
What else? I Conceited versus Rum Nitty. That'd be a good one.
I think that's getting talked about a lot at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, two of the best punchline rappers out there. I mean,
I agree.
I would assume, yeah, and I mean the B Magic Conceited battle is one of my favorite of all time. So I think when you have two punchline rappers go up against each other, it usually works out pretty well.
Definitely.
Jonai, New Jersey Twerk. I think that'd be a good one.
Okay. I like that.
Just trying to think of people who've kind of need to return again. Maybe like a Psychosis versus. Oh man, I don't even know, like a Sketch Menace or something. I don't know. Psychosis or somebody. Fuck. Yeah, this is pretty tough. Eh? Maybe like Hollow the Dawn versus Geechee Gotti. Has that happened?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. How many battles are like 4?
I think that's 5 now.
Okay. This is harder than I thought it would be.
I think everybody's struggled with this one so far, to be fair.
How about Smack White versus Organic? Let's do that.
Crazy.
Dot versus Michael White. There, we need an undercard.
I like it. I like that a lot.
That's 6 battles. So that's my dream card right there.
I like it. Yeah, you're definitely the first person to put Michael White on their dream card as well. So
need some comic relief.
Definitely, yeah. I've said this to a few people now. Like I'm always fascinated about stories of people getting to or from events simply from. I once watched the Dirtbag Dan show where they were speaking to Caustic about having just battled Soul on Don't Flop in the UK.
Okay.
And Dirtbag Dan mentioned that he booked Michael White for a battle on bots against someone called Joe, I think it was. And Michael White had not long come back from the UK himself at this point. But he refused to fly to San Jose because he was scared of flying. And
what?
Yeah, I know. And then he decided to book a Greyhound to go from, I think it's Corpus Christi in Texas, all the way to San Jose.
Holy fuck.
And he spent a total of 6 days on this Greyhound just to go and battle Joe in San Jose.
6 days. Holy shit.
And I don't think the battle ever even got released.
Wow. I can imagine why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like
yeah,
yeah,
since
it
hearing
sounds
that
like
was,
Michael White, all right.
oh, definitely, 100%. He's when he came to the UK, it was like I went to the event and I think he did like 3 battles in the space of about 3 days. But I'd never actually heard of him before. I didn't know who he was, and I was in the queue to an event, and he started like battling somebody on the street round the corner from an event. So I went round to watch it, and he kind of turned up with one of those like U-shaped travel pillows over his head, and he had all these like clothes on that were like the length of a full dress kind of thing. Like his t-shirts were like the biggest and longest t-shirts I've ever seen. And then
It looks like a dress almost.
yeah, pretty much. And he tied a pair of stockings over his head, and I was just like, who is this guy? Like, why have we booked this guy? And he went first, and it like his first few bars, I thought, okay, he's different, but he's quite funny. And then he comes out with he was battling a guy called Soul Jitsu,
Okay.
um, who's he was like up and coming at that point, I guess. But he says to Soul Jitsu, "You look like Dave Chappelle," which is pretty funny. Like they look slightly similar, but
Uh-huh.
then he switches it up to, "You look like Dave Chappelle's sister had sex with Dave Chappelle, and then I took the baby that was made, and that was the baby that I raped, and I called it Baby Dave." And I was just
Fire. No.
absolutely amazed. And I took a smoke break for every one of his battles for the rest of the weekend, to be fair. So didn't see him again. And it sounds like I made a wise decision. But
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think I like these comic relief rappers just because we got a couple in our scene as well. You've heard of Funeral Nick before?
I've heard the name. I don't actually think I've
Yeah,
watched his stuff.
he's pretty ridiculous. He almost got like the shit kicked out of him on stage just because his antics were like so ridiculous. Like brought like a rotary phone out and like threw it into the crowd. Some guy like it's hitting the face with the phone.
Oh
That's just
dear.
one of his antics. And then we got another guy called Whoop. There it is in our scene as well, and he's pretty not Mike, not quite Michael White level, but he just does a lot of ridiculous like antics, extremely obscure references. Like it's like strictly like '80s like bars and shit. It's pretty funny.
Right. I'll have to check those guys out. There's nothing I love more than like a bit of a car crash battle.
Uh,
So
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, Lil G kind of falls under that category. However, he is insanely good. So not
Yeah,
quite the
yeah,
same thing, but
yeah. He would fit in that category for sure. I'd say.
yeah, yeah, big Lil G fan. I'm still hoping to get him on the show at some point. So hopefully that happens soon. But I mean, that is pretty much the battle rap related questions done with there. But I've also been asking a couple of like music related questions and then finishing up on 3 random questions at the end. But with yourself, if you had to pick your top 3 albums of all time of any genre off the top of your head, what would you go with personally?
Ooh, any genre? I really like The Diary by Scarface.
Okay,
Um, When Disaster Strikes, Busta Rhymes. Love that album. Muddy Waters by Redman. Fuck, I'm a huge metalhead, so I gotta pick a couple metal albums. Probably Master of Puppets, Metallica, and Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera. I'd say it'd be my top 5 for this.
nice man. It's a good list. I like it. And like in terms of like gigs or shows that you've been to, who would you say is like the best live act that you've ever seen?
Oh fuck! My first ever metal concert. I went. It was 2006. It was Slayer, Lamb of God, Children of Bodom, and Mastodon. I think that was definitely the best metal concert I've been to.
Yeah, fair one.
Um,
That's a good lineup.
yeah, I'd say that was the best concert I've been to. Like, or maybe the yeah Iron Maiden came here and they did a whole. They did all their '80s material, and that was a fucking awesome concert. Like all the stage shows, the music, everything about that show is great. So probably those two would be favorite gigs I've been to.
Nice, man. And like, what's the what's the live music scene like in Vancouver? Do you get a lot of like gig opportunities there?
I mean, I know people who are kind of in the underground like scene, but it's very, very diverse here in Vancouver. Like, there's a huge EDM scene. There's just rap. There's punk rock. There's metal. I mean, there's not like it's all over the place. But there's room for everything here. So if you like something, there's probably a scene for it.
Nice. Okay, and
But ironically, I find it's almost more of a battle rap city than like a rap music city because it seemed like, I mean, Mercules and Junk, those are two like big musicians right now in Vancouver, but they started in the battle rap scene initially. So it just seems like every big rapper that's been from Vancouver, even Mad Child, like they've been related to battle rap somehow, and I always thought that was kind of cool. Just Vancouver's just a battle rap city.
nice. Yeah, and it's so junk. I've actually never heard of until I spoke to Lesparker, um,
Yeah.
and now I've pretty much I think I've listened to everything he has on Spotify in the last week or so, and become a really big fan of his. To be fair, so yeah, it's good to hear. And was
Yeah,
there
he's
like ever
great.
anything with Mad Child battling in Vancouver then? Because he is from there, right?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he had I think his last King of the Dot was his Daylight battle. So I think he kind of looks for high profile names, but he kind of has a bad reputation in Vancouver right now. Like, he has this whole group called Battle Axe Warriors. It's basically just like people sign up for money and then they're in this kind of club kind of shit. I don't know. He's just kind of done a lot of bad shit, and he's got a bad reputation over time. So not a lot of people locally are kind of fuck with him, but yeah, it's kind of too bad. I don't see him returning to Vancouver battle rap anytime soon.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of his either. Like, I'm not overly into his music or his battles. So it's not that
Yeah.
I'm
No.
looking for him to return. It just I thought it might be something that made sense, but no, apparently not. But
No, no.
is there um is there like any lesser known musicians that you're a big fan of that myself or the listeners might not be aware of?
Lesser known music. Um, not that I can think of locally. I mean, I've been kind of out of the local music scene loop. So yeah, not off the top of my head, to be honest.
That's fair enough. No worries. But yeah, so I've been ending the interviews with three very random questions. But are you a
Sweet.
big sports fan, and do you have a favourite sports team?
I'm a huge sports fan. Yeah. Fuck my favorite sports team. Um, fuck. Probably the Flyers, the Philadelphia Flyers, NHL.
Okay.
But I'm a big basketball fan as well. So I like the Raptors, Canada's team, kind of. So
Yeah.
probably those two.
Nice. You a football fan at all, or?
Uh, not not your type of football. American football, I'm a huge fan, but for like soccer, I'll watch the World Cup here and there. But like as for like English Premier League, I don't watch too much or anything like that. But yeah, Euro and World Cup, I love watching those.
Yeah, I've got kind of used to switching between calling it football and soccer depending on who I've got on the show. Now, to be fair, it's caused a bit of confusion at the start. But are you like an American football fan then?
Yeah, diehard American fan. Like I said in the beginning, I wrote articles and stuff for all this sports stuff. So yeah, I'd say yeah, NFL is probably number one for me. Like, doesn't even matter what team. I just want to see a good game and crack some beers and watch it with my friends.
Nice, nice man.
Yeah.
It's like the the North American sports have never been particularly accessible over here, unfortunately. But the the NFL is now. It's getting quite big here, and we'll have we have a show on like a Saturday night, which is called Match of the Day, which will kind of play all of the highlights from the Premier League football that day,
Uh huh.
and straight afterwards we'll have the the NFL show.
Oh,
So
awesome.
all
Okay.
the
Sick.
highlights from that week's games and stuff, which I've kind of I stumbled across it by mistake, like just not switching the channel over after the Match of the Day had finished, and I've ended up becoming a giant fan of it, and it's such an amazing like tactical sport. Like I'm really enjoying it. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's been rumblings that they've been wanting to move a team to London, like eventually. But yeah, like I mean, with the time zones and stuff, like I might get tricky. But also there's the Canadian Football League here, which is it's whatever. There's only like 8 teams. It's not that great, but I'm hoping they kind of fall apart and then they can put a NFL team in Canada in Toronto most likely. So yeah, either London or Toronto will probably see an NFL team in like the next decade or so.
that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
that. They're doing a lot of games at like Wembley Stadium and stuff over here too, so that'll be
Oh,
good to
right.
see.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
But you don't have a team then, NFL wise.
I guess the Detroit Lions, but they're kind of like the worst sports franchise in North American history, so it's kind of hard for me to admit that I'm a fan of that team. But yeah, Detroit Lions, my team.
Nice. I've um I've settled on the Chicago Bears myself, but
Oh, they're division rivals, so that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. But like the next one is if you could pick anywhere in the world for your next trip or your next holiday abroad, where would you go personally?
Oh man, that's a great question. I'd say the UK, man, because I've done a Euro trip, but it was all Eastern Europe, and I did a bit of Germany and stuff like that. So the UK is kind of like the only one of the only places in Europe I haven't been yet. So I would say, yeah, UK.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be good. And where did you go in Europe then?
This is about 4 years ago. I went just for New Year's. My friends and I went to Kiev in the Ukraine, and we were there for about a week. Then they left, and I kind of did my own thing. I went to Poland, Germany, Czech Republic, Serbia, Croatia, Hungary. I think that's all I did. And then I went back to Kiev because I got a round trip ticket. And then, yeah, so that whole excursion was about 40 days or something like that. So, yeah, it was a great time. Loved it.
Amazing. Yeah, I've been to Kiev briefly for I went there for like the European soccer championships. I think it would have been 2010. But
Okay, yep.
cool city, like underrated city, right?
It was my favorite place in Europe that I went, I think. Yeah, it's so different. The culture shock, like yeah, everything about it is great. The people couldn't say anything bad about it.
No, no, I completely agree. And the Ukraine kind of has a bit of a bad reputation in the UK for some reason, but I loved it out there. I thought it was great. So definitely cool that you've got to go there. But the the final question, and this one has brought up a mixture of answers so far, to be fair, but you can pick one sweet and one savoury, but what, in your opinion, is the go-to snack?
One sweet, one savory. Ooh, I gotta go with Sour Patch Kids with the sour or sweet.
Okay, nice.
Those are my Achilles heel. Savory, like chips. Does that count as savory?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay. I like. I don't know if you have them in Wales, but we have Miss Vicky's chips. I like the Miss Vicky's original. Those are my favorite for sure.
No, I don't think I've even heard of them, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Google that. Miss Vicky's chips.
So, I'm going to Google them quickly now, but no, I mean they're good choices anyway. I mean I've had some absolutely terrible answers so far, to be fair, so I can't argue with those. But apart from that, like, do you have anything that you wanted to plug on the show at all? Like any projects you have going on, or anything that you wanted in the description to the video once it's uploaded?
Yeah, I got my Ground Zero battle I did in Toronto in February. That should be coming out within 1 or 2 weeks. So maybe just keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's about it that I have going on right now.
Cool. No worries, man. But yeah, apart from that, again, thank you very much for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it, and it's been fun to chop it up with you. But hopefully, get you on again in the near future, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you very much, and stay safe over there.
Yeah, likewise.